Yo, but yeah, nigga, hey, nigga.
Dr. Boyce Watkins. How you doing? This is Kings for Queens. I'm talking slow. This is Comix Strategy. I am. And this is JS. And we are going to get started with the show today, talking about and discussing current events again. But we're going to tie in, start getting back to our regularly scheduled programming in this particular episode, actually. But we want to talk about the protest a little bit more because we want to get to the next step. Because it's one thing to say, hey, something needs to change, but then there needs to be the change. So we want to go ahead and get started with that. We were hoping to have a guest appearance, but that just didn't happen this week. So hopefully next week we'll have other people on the show.
They have to show up, but it's okay. We are coming live from the Holiday Inn in Minneapolis.
We are on the road.
We have been in the streets protesting. And you know what? It's funny. It won't still take me long to get home.
Yeah, we have done none of that.
Yeah, none of that.
One thing we've done is got matching pants because what we are trying to say is it's time to go to work. So we don't want these protests that are happening to go in vain or to be a situation where, you know what, we did screw y'all niggas over.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back. And then there is no going back. So what's the next steps?
It's only going forward. Only going forward.
Yes, we're only going forward. So what does that look like? So let's go ahead and ask a question here. Ask a question for you to answer.
Yeah.
The first question is there a more effective way to protest?
Man, you know, I would really like to say, fortunately, the looting and protesting and the peaceful protesting, you know, it's been working. It's been working because, unfortunately, you have to have some casualties to war. So some stuff is gonna get messed up. You know, unfortunately, a lot of white folks, you know, some of them are mad because a lot of people are looting. But unfortunately, if it was marching and stuff, a lot of people wouldn't pay attention to it. So, you know.
So you're suggesting the organization, or no, that's not the right word.
No.
The vandalism that has taken place to some degree from some of these protests.
Yeah, I mean, I would just like to say though, from some of the protests, you know, it is, you know, the vandalism that's been going on. I think a lot of it isn't done by the peaceful protesters because, you know, Black Lives Matter isn't a gang. Black Lives Matter isn't a gang. You know what I mean? You don't have to write it on the wall. Anybody who was there for the peaceful protest, they know why would we write on some shit just to, you know what I mean? That don't make any sense. So that had to do with a lot of the anarchist type people that's out there messing shit up.
And so you're suggesting that it wasn't it wasn't the black protesters or protesters that were there for the actual cause. It was people that were causing disruption on purpose that did not care about the cause. So in other words, they just wanted to, they were opportunists.
Yeah.
And they wanted to benefit
I mean,
from the process. Like this Antifa, these other white supremacist groups, Klan members, the policemen who were documented and reported causing some of these fires and breaking entries.
And look, I don't know what a lot of these people goals were, but it was there to have some kind of disruption. You gotta have instigators sometimes, and it was a lot of those that were instigators. So if this instigator is coming, breaking the glass and then walking away, that's what a lot of the people who not thinking, they running up in there now, the glass is broke. Maybe that wouldn't have happened if this person wasn't there just sitting there breaking the shit. You understand? But, you know, in this type of situation, you're gonna have those riot starters. You know what I mean?
So do you think it's the most effective way to protest, or is there a more effective way?
unfortunately for right now, it's also a lot of peaceful protesting going on. So I think that is the way to do it. I'm not gonna say rioting and looting is the way to do it, but unfortunately, it gets the job done sometimes. And right now, we cannot stop. We have to keep going. And I'm not saying rioting, but I'm saying the protests. We have to keep going, because if we stop right now, I think it will hinder us. So I think we need to keep going. There need to be more protests. There need to be more people out the street. And I would just like to say thank you to all the allies. A lot of the white folks on the front line. I was out in Tucker the other day, and they were over at Tucker High School, and it was all white folks with signs, Black Lives Matter, honk your horn if Black Lives Matter. And I'm honking my horn and shit. It made me feel bad. I was like, shit, I'm supposed to be over there. You know what I mean? But I can see some white folks had their windows up and they're like, I'm not honking for shit. But to those white people that are allies, thank you for standing with us on the front lines. I see it. Even today in Tucker, they were out on Lawrenceville Highway, deep. You know what I mean? My sister and my niece was out there today, and they were sending me pictures. My kids was out in Beaufort. Well, my oldest son was out in Beaufort protesting, and so I was proud of him. I was proud that he had his face mask on. So I was really proud about that part, because I had to keep telling him, like, yo, put your damn mask on. I don't, but he's out there. You know what I mean? So I just want to say thank you to all those people that's out there on the front lines.
Valid point, especially when you discuss, because this is a worldwide thing. I'm not so sure if China is a part of it. Maybe they are. I haven't seen much about China.
I haven't seen too much about China.
But worldwide, London. I mean, you can go across the board. People are protesting
Paris.
What's happening in the United States.
Yeah.
That's big. And it's massive. And you see people apologizing. You kind of like, okay, what does that mean though? I hear the apology, but at least that's actually happened. They painted Black Lives Matter all the way down like 2 city blocks in Washington D.C.
That was dope.
Which was amazing.
Yeah, the mayor
and
did
then
that.
you see,
dope.
I was in Alpharetta, which is a white neighborhood. It's like 80-something% white, and they were protesting. I saw maybe 2 black protesters out of all the protesters that were there.
Yeah.
It was probably 50 folks, so not a small crowd, but still.
Still,
everywhere
they
you
out
go,
there giving their time. So, thank you.
So here's the thing. I do think there's a more effective way to protest, because this is protest part 1. Protest part 2 is now let's start using the money properly and effectively. So what's starting to happen is you have people that are going to start organizing. I think it's tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken. If it's not tomorrow, then it's next Sunday. But Oprah is having this conversation with all these leaders that have been kind of in the front line, and I'm talking too fast, that's why I'm starting my words. But they are going to have a discussion on what are the next steps, because the last thing we want to do, you said keep going. I do agree we need to keep going, but I don't think we need to keep going the same way. I think we need to go to the next step, kind of like video game levels. That was level 1, we won level 1. Let's go to level 2. Level 1 was, okay, now they realize, okay, something has to change, or at least they're saying that. That doesn't necessarily mean that they actually mean that, but something has to change. So now level 2 is, okay, what is going to be the change? So we're going to start talking about some of these changes. And it's more than just Kaepernick getting a job back in the NFL. Though the NFL needs to admit that they blackballed him.
And give him some kind of a job back. You know what I mean? Because it's nothing for them to say, oh yeah, we were wrong about this the whole time. Well, you need to give him a job and make sure he has a job then.
And then you're like, nah, nigga, like what? See, this is what we're talking about.
Yep.
So,
or all you said, all of that was for nothing, man.
Yeah, and that's a minor thing compared to what really needs to happen. Yeah. There needs to be serious, swift, quick, consistent police reform across the board. Now you're starting to see some of that. Minneapolis has said no chokeholds. Los Angeles has said, what has Los Angeles said? Shoot. They did something. I can't even remember what it is. I just read it too. But Los Angeles did something major as well. So the police are now having to conform. There's a set of police officers that pushed down this white dude, knocked him out, and caused injuries.
Yeah, in Buffalo.
Yeah. So 2 of them got suspended with pay, which, it's a question whether that's appropriate.
57
now,
of them.
All of the rest decided they ain't gonna. So it's stuff like that. So the police departments are just there, like whatever. We're hoping this blows over.
Be gone, shit.
We want it to blow over.
Walk your ass.
So we don't want this to blow. This is no blowover. This is let's get this shit handled. So
because once the dude they pushed him, y'all was about to walk by and keep going. So that said a lot to me at that point. Like, yo, this is an elderly white man. Y'all push him down, and then we about to keep. It's like y'all don't give a fuck.
Well, I mean, it's always been like that, though. We've told people, said, look, they treat black people poorly, and you think you're gonna get away with it just because you're white? No. Yeah. If they can treat us poorly, they can treat anybody poorly. Not that we're better than white people or vice versa. That's not the point here. The point is, if you are the justice of the peace and you can abuse your power on anyone, you have the mentality to be able to do that with everyone. So, let's pick and choose. I'm cool with you now, but all of a sudden, if I'm not cool with you, you know what? I'm going to use my authority against you. Yeah. So that's the problem. And it is the police departments. Now, obviously, we can go into much deeper, like, banking industry. We can talk about insurance sales. We can talk about car sales, how we pay, I think it's $2,000 more per car as a black American than a white American student. Wow. We pay at least $10,000 more for the same kind of house than a white American does. And we have zero actual savings. Now, why is that we don't have the savings? That's a whole nother story that we can't really get into right now. So a lot of big issues there. But we don't have the jump start. We don't have once we get out there, bam, we have something to go to. Jewish households, for example, their kids don't leave until they make sure they have a nest egg, a place to stay, a car, and all that stuff. Then they say, okay, now you can go. They won't even let them leave. They'll be 24, 25, 28 in the house with their parents' house, and that's cool. Entire family, 8, 10 people, whatever it is. But that's the Jewish household. Black households at 18, they're out and they're on their own and they have no money so when you see black people making it, they made it in spite of all the odds, in spite of all the circumstances, in spite of all the pitfalls and the hurdles and the many times they've been pulled over by the police or gone to jail for no apparent reason or got their ass beat. Because that happens to the typical, regular, normal, average black American. So, we need to make sure that the second part of this protest is, okay, we do have some dollars. We're going to stop just giving it to you. You're going to have to earn it now. We're not going to just give you the benefit of the doubt. And for black companies that are out there that are legitimate, that are doing it, we need to start putting money into them. Why? Because they made it in spite of all the odds. They probably had to pay more and got lesser than any other white business, because that is statistically what has been shown in the government facts and the people have done research, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So this is not just overblown stuff.
Yeah, you definitely had your coffee this morning, brother.
Am I a little animated?
Yeah.
What's coming out of me is the years of this stuff always happening, and I'm finally seeing something that says, okay, we can now go to the next step. We couldn't even get to this step before.
Yeah, it was weird. They had a list. They were saying basically the next step. They had a list of all of the companies that endorsed Donald Trump for president in 2020, and I believe we don't need to eat or shop with these companies.
Well, let's talk about that for a second because. Obviously, you have the right to vote for whoever the hell you want to vote for or give money to whoever the hell you want to give money to. But here's the thing. So, there's a lot of confusion out there. We have Candace Owens. I don't even want to say her name, but let's just talk about her for a second. And other black Americans that are saying that we should be doing the exact opposite. Let them talk. They also have a right to say whatever the hell they want to say. That doesn't make them right. It doesn't make Trump right. It doesn't make the Republicans right. It doesn't make the Democrats right. We have problems across the board. I mean, we're talking about how many things we need to fix. It's a lot. Don't let it be overwhelming, though, because we can do it if we all do this together. Which also means that we need to keep pressing the envelope. We gotta keep endorsing the songs that are talking about this stuff. We gotta keep watching the shows that are talking about this stuff. We gotta keep supporting the people that are out there making the changes that are necessary to make this actually happen. Because if we don't, these little Candaces, we always call them Candaces, are going to ruin it for everyone, or at least try to, in their own effort of being whatever the hell they're trying to do.
She's a plant or something.
There are some people that are getting paid to talk against us.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. I mean, we know it's those people out there, you know, and we looking at them like, I can't believe she said that, but that's her job. You know what I mean? If she feels that she can go to sleep at night from saying this shit, then, you know, so be it. But, you know,
and some people
I'm not
can.
even watching it.
Doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I'm not
Doesn't
even
change
watching
what the agenda or the motive is. So, speaking of Kansas,
Yeah.
I wouldn't call her a celebrity.
You said Kansas?
I'd say I thought I said Kansas, or maybe I said Kansas.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kansas, the state, no, Kansas. Are the celebrities right? Because most of the celebrities, obviously, and you know, hey, I think there's a good reason for this. They are enforcing peaceful protest, right?
Yeah.
We kind of talked about this a little bit in our last show. Are the celebrities right in this? Are the celebrities right in endorsing only peaceful and abhorring the violent kind of protest?
Yeah, I think regardless, everybody understands initially that certain stuff had to happen. Like the police headquarters in Minneapolis. I was fucking ecstatic to see that burn up. I was ecstatic. And I hear now it's a lot of people trying to push to make it like a memorial for everybody that has gotten killed by police officers. But I'm pretty sure they probably won't do that. But it's a nice thought. It's a nice gesture for, you know, people to think that way. But you know, some of the fires and stuff, you know, I was happy at the beginning, but when I seen people breaking the glass and running in the Adidas stores and stuff like that, that's just too much. You know what I mean? That's too much. Calm that down.
So you would have been cool if it was continuing the precincts?
No. It's been. I'm kind of happy that it's been showing some of the police's, the police and women true colors out there, with the different videos that people take, and the good videos of the different police officers, especially the ones in Florida, was out there marching with the protesters. You know what I mean? So it's been some good stories of policemen, but there's been a whole lot of bad ones. And you know, just this week, just seeing a lot of the bad ones. You know, when you see it, I have to go past the shit a couple of times before I even. If it just keeps like with the George Floyd. Initially, I didn't watch the shit. You know what I mean? I didn't watch it until I heard people start talking about it. That's when I went back to watch it, because I had passed it before. I'm like, oh, I don't want to see it. I just seen a man on the floor. I'm like, I don't want to see this shit. You know what I mean? But then eventually I had to watch it, and that's how it's been. You know, just going on Instagram, like. But you know, fortunately, this is how we get our news these days as black people. You know what I mean? We get it before the news even talk about it online. So fortunately, it's a good thing. But a lot of the celebrities, I haven't seen too many dumb statements. That
you haven't?
No, I haven't seen too
so
many.
So you heard about Drew Brees?
Oh, his dumb. I was
talking
talking about black folks. But yeah, he I see he tried to clear that shit up quick.
Well, he didn't have any choice when half the NFL attacked him.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. So as you know, Drew Brees, when he started talking about kneeling again, he said that he doesn't want to do anything that disrespects the flag in this nation. And then he said the flag again. So here we go. It's another situation where the flag is more important than anything else. It's retarded, is what it is. And it should never be a flag, should never be more important than the actual people who are the reason for the flag.
Shit is a symbol.
So I am not pledging allegiance to any flag ever again. And I mean that by every breath and fiber of my being, because the flag does not truly represent the love and the care and the concern that you need to have for everybody within a country that is diverse. Whether you want it to be or not is irrelevant. It already is. Get over it. I understand the Constitution and the Confederate bullshit and all that stuff. I hear you. I don't care. I don't care anymore. We are done caring about that stuff. You want to go ahead and have your little Confederate flag party in your own house, you can go ahead and do that. We're not doing that no more. So we are not pledging allegiance to no damn flag. Those days are over. Let's get over it. Kneeling every time the national anthem comes up. Now, if everything starts to change and we're treated the way we're supposed to be, and things are taken care of like it's supposed to be, and there's fair sentencing like it's supposed to be, and everybody's getting opportunity to get paid like it's supposed to be, and we got reparations and all that good stuff, then I might change my mind and say, you know what, hey, the flag ain't too bad. But the flag, no. Not when it comes to the flag over murder, the flag over treating people poorly, the flag over ungodly acts that people have been doing over and over and over again to people who are poor or disadvantaged, disenfranchised. It's not worth it. It's not going to happen anymore. So we have plenty of celebrities all over the place. LeBron James, obviously. LeBron has been saying it before he had championships. So well, MJ's even starting to say it now. It's MJ, I'm not a political guy. Now he's a political guy. Good, MJ, because you need to be.
Yeah, he pledged $100 million.
$100 million, so that's a start. Yeah. So these are the kind of things that need to happen. It's going to get uncomfortable, and it has to. Excuse me. Because it's the only way we're going to have changes that are foundational as compared to, oh man, it sucks. I'm sorry. Okay, let's go back to work. No, that's not how this works no more. We have to get this thing right. So, and you mentioned the way the police have been acting. But let's go back to you are cool seeing that you slow down. That police precinct in fire. And I mentioned, would you have liked to see other ones? You said no. Well, I mean, it's kind of a catch-22, right?
You said other what?
For me, every single police precinct could be on fire right now.
Oh,
every single one.
Oh yeah, I don't care about the precincts. No.
Now, is that ideal? Probably not. I'm just tired of you getting over. I'm just tired of you lying. I'm just tired of you thinking that this is what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just tired of when the cameras aren't on, y'all acting the ass. Like, did you hear them over the, I think it was in New York, and they was on the police radio, and he was like, you know, people are in the way. And the policeman was like, oh, run their ass over. And then he's like, don't say this over the radio. And so it was just saying to me, like, damn, when ain't nobody around.
And you know what? He could have been just joking. Which is it's kind of a funny joke, right?
He could.
Ha.
Yeah.
But the problem is, that's not the time and place to say anything like that or to even joke. Not today. Not today. So
they got to get rid of this us versus them mentality.
You should not be able to have such authority without having the responsibility that that kind of authority requires. That's the problem. Yeah. And for centuries, police have been able to have authority without any kind of responsibility to the authority. I mean, you basically are like bad superheroes. You have all these extra powers, and you just do whatever the hell you want. And if we're lucky, we get to survive. If we're lucky, we get to go home without any problems. If we're lucky, we're not thrown in jail for 6 hours for nothing.
Yeah, 6 hours, that's pretty
I mean, they can legally take you, throw you in jail for 6 hours, bam, and then
Shit,
say sorry.
They can keep you in there for longer. Like,
There have been instances where they've thrown people in jail and they've been there for at least 2 years before they even saw trial.
Yeah, that shit happens.
Black Americans.
That shit happens.
Now, this happened to some Native Americans too.
Get lost
Native
in that
Americans is a whole
system.
different story. But the bottom line is this. These things need to stop. So,
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we don't have any faith in this system anymore.
I have absolutely no faith in the current system today.
Yeah.
Even with all the apologies. So what? Where are the changes? Let's see the changes. So, Tanya, who's watched the show before, she's been on a roll. Earlier today on Facebook, I have a good friend, white guy, owns a business down in Fayetteville. Is it Fayetteville? I think it's Fayetteville.
Okay.
And he's talking about, because I mentioned if you really want to end racism, then you'll start talking about and getting ready to give out some reparations. Even the playing field. And he said, well, does that change the heart? If you get the money, does that change the heart of the people who? And I said, well, maybe it's not, but it's the right thing to do, number one. Number two, it at least makes it harder because you're not at such a disadvantage if you're getting the money that you deserve to have. So that's where we're at with this thing. It's like, okay, we want everybody's heart to change, but even if it doesn't, you need to conform to a certain way. That's the problem. It's not like, okay, a cop does something bad. We expect people to make mistakes. These are mistakes when you know you can kill somebody and get away with it. These 4 cops are still like, I don't know how this happened. Because they are used to seeing and having the privilege to be audacious and treat people poorly. They said the one guy was in training, so the other guy that was on the neck, I'm like, well, you know what, sucks for him, but if I'm in a car and 4 people rob a car, guess what happens to me? I go down with the entire people in the car, so guess what? I guess he's going to look at 20 to 40 years like he should because he was on there. He could have did something with his life and chose not to. Don't give a damn he's in training or not.
If I'm in the car with 3 other dudes and one of the dudes commit murder, they're going to charge me as an accessory.
Period. Every single time. So I don't care if he's in training.
Yeah, I don't hear that shit.
They're like, well, he's black too. He needs to go to jail.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
See, the issue is not that we don't want criminals to go to jail. That's the stupidest thing I keep hearing. We want criminals to go to jail, but if the white dude can only get probation and the black person gets 10 life sentences, there's a problem. For the exact same. Usually the white person's done something way worse.
Yeah.
There are people in jail for 20, 30 years for stealing something, and there are people that are free that have ran over 4-year-olds.
And I think that everybody that's in jail for marijuana-related charges need to be released. Because there's no way that all of these companies are getting rich now, all over America, off of marijuana, and you still got people in jail for selling it.
I used to live in Denver, so I was there when they passed the law, and everything kind of went crazy. Yeah. But they said, okay, it's going to take a year to enact the law. I always thought that was strange. If you knew the law had a chance to get passed, why would it take a whole year before you actually even do anything with it? Because they wanted to put certain people in place. So by the time the law actually passed, all of the organizations, all of the companies that could sell were all white owned.
Yeah, they got their people in place. You know what I mean? They got
and to this day, the people that have sold and got sentences for selling in this very state of Denver are still serving their complete sentence.
That's some wild shit, though.
So that's what we're talking about.
Wow, shit.
That's what we're talking about. And let's just end that with the caveat. Black Americans were 3 times more likely to go to jail for marijuana-related offenses during that time frame. So there you have it. So these are the things that need to change. So I'm beating a dead horse now, and I'm talking crazy. So let's talk about what do we do now, and then what will history look like concerning this situation. So what do we do now? So I think we talked about some of that stuff.
We
individuals. Let's
keep it going.
Let's go with individuals. Us watching, us talking. So me and Jamil should continue to use our platform and our voice to continue to advocate for justice, racial equality, and those kind of things, and then find ways where we can help be a part of the process. You watching, same for you. If you don't have a platform, you can either create one or you can give to someone else's platform that is actually making change, and you can look at ways within yourself to make changes to make it better for especially Black Americans, Native Americans, in particular, those two, because they have been the most disenfranchised, and find ways to help. On top of that, let's just go ahead and talk about white people. What can you do? Well, I think being an ally in the protest is part of the process.
Yeah.
But there's a level and there's a certain thing that you can do that we can't do. You are available to go to those secret meetings, or when it's all your friends around and they're talking in a certain way about Black Americans. You can stop that stuff.
You can check their ass.
You can end that shit. So you need to start thinking about that. Is that going to be fun? No. You're going to lose some friends? Hell yeah, you're going to lose some friends. Does that put you in a vicarious situation? We live that every day. So I hear you, and I understand it's going to be tough, but this is what it's going to take. Yeah. I know you feel great because you saw it on CNN, but what are you going to do about it? So you have to be willing to do something. Black Americans, we got to start deciding where we're going to spend our money and start spending it collectively in better places, banks that actually care, places that actually give us a break like they give the white folks, or even just our own. The Jewish people give to their own, the Chinese American people give to their own, the Japanese American people give to their own, and they don't have any problems. We're the ones with the problems, and we give most of our money to everybody else. All those Korean stores, they don't want to give us support and talk about us and treat us poorly. Stop giving them our money. Put that money somewhere else. Well, I need to get weave. Well, find another place that gets weave. I know that means your hair is going to look bad for a couple months, but guess what? We need to do something, and we need to stop making excuses. So,
go get a fade.
So some women can do the fade.
Hell yeah.
Some women cannot.
Shit, that look good. I like when women have short hair sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes. Some women can do that. Some women, again, cannot.
Yeah.
Know where you stand on that line.
Some of y'all don't have the right head for that. You know what I mean? But it looks good on some women, hey. You know what I mean? I can't complain. For real.
Yeah, hey, like I can't wear muscle shirts. That would just be like ridiculous.
Yeah.
I put a muscle shirt on. I mean, I got some muscles, but it doesn't mean anything. I look like a little punk.
Yeah. You said you don't have enough to fill that shit out.
Yeah. Like, what's up, guys?
Yeah. You be like, yo, you need to put another shirt on.
So I have to beat my ass just for CP. I mean? Like, dude,
yeah.
You came in here with a muscle shirt.
But I do want to say this. People, don't be on the wrong side of history. It's a lot of people that's out here and they finding themselves.
Thoroughly explain what that means.
The wrong side.
Like,
of
give
history.
an example. First, give an example of the right side of history.
All right. Back in the civil rights days.
Okay.
You understand? You had black folks.
Mm-hmm.
You have some white folks that were allies back then. Mm-hmm. You understand? But then you had police officers tormenting them, hitting them,
so
spraying water on. That's the wrong side. But look at those people. We're looking at those videos now, and you're looking at those police officers like, damn, what the fuck was wrong with them? It was on the wrong side of history. You understand? But it's certain stuff that has to happen. Like they were saying, how I was reading today, they were saying like the Emmett Till case basically was a turnaround for the civil rights era back in the day. And this George Floyd case can be a turnaround for us. Because shit, we're not going back. We're not going back to how it used to be. You know what I mean?
Let's understand the Emmett Till case too.
Yeah.
Because when Emmett Till got murdered for doing nothing, because they said he whistled at a girl, but he didn't. reports state that he didn't. He happened to look in that direction but kept it moving because he knew that he wasn't trying to get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the report. So when they finally saw him and they opened up the casket and saw how brutally beaten he was, that was a turning point, not because of just that, but because there had been a history,
His
a
mother
long-standing
wanted
history.
an open casket. She wanted to show what everybody did to her baby. I remember seeing that picture in the jet. I wasn't alive then, but my father had the jet or whatever, and that's how I seen the picture. I'm sure you can see it online also. But this George Floyd thing is going to be a pivotal moment in history. So do not be on the wrong side of history with your All Lives Matter slogan, which I know a lot of people, right-wing people who say it, they only say it because they know what the hell it means. They got to stop playing like they dumb. Oh no, all lives matter. Shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear that.
So all lives matter means this. Yeah, his life matter, but mine does too. So it minimizes the death of what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Because in a situation, the way humanity is supposed to work, you're supposed to help people who are not in a position to help themselves. That's how humanity works. When you have something, when you have the ability to do something, that's why charity is so important. That's why giving is so important. That's why helping is so important. When you're in that position, that's what you should be doing. So when you look at someone getting murdered for doing nothing, and your first thought is all lives matter, so it means, yeah, he got killed, but my life matters too, and so does the policeman. So what that says is his life doesn't matter at all, because your life is just as important as his, which you don't care about what happened to him though. So that's the problem with the all lives matter thought process. When people say that, what they're really saying is they really do not care about black people or whoever else that is not like them. They want people that are like them. So what they need to say, change that name all lives to similar lives. Similar lives matter. Or white lives matter. Which some people have that slogan too, so there you go. That's more accurate.
Or in my neighborhood, they got blue lives matter. Look, stop with your shit. I know what you're doing. Stop it. Stop with your shit.
I said something last, by the way, on last show about how there are no good cops, and I really was like in my feelings when I said it, and I really was like taking it to the extreme.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stand by that statement because here's the thing:
God.
Unless you're marching with us, unless you are saying what's happening is wrong, unless you're pointing out all these things as errors or bad decisions or poor people or Klansmen that have got in the actual police precinct and have done harm, and you're willing to admit to those things, you're also as bad as the actual cops that did the crimes. And you know what? I've only heard a couple cops, so I guess I'm wrong. There are some good cops out there. I think I can count them on my hand, though. That's the problem. You can't say that you're serious about doing your job when part of your job is to do the right thing, and you're not doing the right thing because there's people in your precinct that are not doing the right thing at all. You won't say anything about it. You're standing up for them instead. There you have it.
Hey, I know some good cops.
How many? 5?
I know a lot.
I can 5. I know 5. Good for you, buddy.
I know a lot. It's some good cops out there. It's some real cops out there. Just stand up though. You know what I mean? But it's some good.
What's
cops.
the percentage you think?
Shit. Out of 100?
Out of 100%, what percentage of them are good cops? Hard to think of. Yeah. I'm gonna say 1%. That's where I'm at.
I say 40% are good. I say 40%. 40%.
That sounds extremely high.
I said 40%. Cause I ran into some good cops, black and white, and I've ran into some bad cops, black and white. You know what I mean?
We really gotta talk about color here.
Yeah, I ran.
We really don't.
Yeah.
I don't think I think I ran into one black cop that was actually somebody who I actually respected. All the other black cops I've ran into, horrible human beings.
Yeah,
they're still cops.
Yeah.
The issue here is having authority to treat and misuse people a certain way. We're not talking about it's just the white cops. No, the black cops are just as bad, if not worse. Yeah. Cops, period. You can't have that kind of authority and acts foolishly. You know what? If I ran something and did something and got caught doing something wrong, guess what? I get punished for that because I had authority to do something and I abused the privilege. Now, I have been accused of doing that kind of stuff. I didn't do it because what I did was I exposed somebody else who actually was doing the crimes and they try to pin it on me. So let me calm down. I'm about to have a moment here.
So are you saying you're a snitch?
I'm saying that someone was getting money.
I'm just joking.
And the poor. No, we gotta say this now since you called me a snitch. So someone was getting money, and they were giving it to family members, and that money went or was supposed to go to people who are mentally ill, or disabled, or elderly people.
Okay. And
they weren't getting it. So I found out because someone told me. Did the research.
Yeah.
Didn't do much research, but I did know.
That's good. If they're telling on elderly people, yeah, his ass needs to go to jail.
So then I reported it, and here I am with the accusation.
Is that the reason you're on the run now?
We are at an undisclosed location. I'm not on the run. I'm not on the run.
Big Terry, do not come look for this brother.
Big Terry.
Hey, Big Terry. Yo, we are at an unclosed location.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's wrap this up. You got any final thoughts?
Yes, Big Terry. I had nothing to do with this. Brother. Nah, I'm just joking. No.
Okay, so you see the gear because it's time to go to work. America, it's time to go to work. This is Kings for Queens, the men's talk show for the benefit of women. I hope you learned something today.
And not just America, wherever you at in the world.
This is true.
It's time to go to work.
It's time to go to work because racism didn't just stop at the Atlantic or Pacific borders. I mean, it's in London. It's across the world.
Hey, I just want to say this real quick. Hey, did y'all see how racism got coronavirus the fuck out of here? Right? What the fuck is this? You know, what the fuck is this? It's no more.
So here's the thing. That's what it looks like. But here's the thing. They have said that the coronavirus does not do well with heat. It's been very warm during this time. So I hear you.
Sound like Donald Trump, dog. No, I'm just joking. Yo, that shit is out here. People are dying still. It's crazy how Georgia.
That's my point, my brother.
It's crazy how Georgia don't really drop their numbers like that. You gotta go look for them. You know, hey, Michigan be hitting me on the daily. Free Press be hitting me like, bam, this how many people died in Detroit today. You know what I mean? This how many people got coronavirus. But Georgia be like, shit.
Yeah, and the reason why we don't have a guest is because the guests are like smarter than we are and decided to continue to social distance.
Hey, stay away then.
But we're gonna have
a
whole bunch of guests.
Hey, what? As soon as this shit is over?
What?
Coronavirus?
No. What is happening? No.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about when the coronavirus.
No, I'm talking about in later shows and episodes.
Oh, okay.
Next episode, no, but other episodes. In fact,
you
next
tell
episode,
them to come and talk through a mask. I need to see their face. You know what I mean? Just come and talk through the mask. You know what I mean?
Well, Dana was gonna do a Zoom, but I said, you know what?
Or if you like, we can have somebody stand up here and hold a trash bag in between us. You know what I mean? And then like that, just have
a little shield.
Yeah.
Plastic shield would be better than trash bag.
Yeah. I do not want to look like I'm welding the whole fucking show.
Looking like you're in the ghetto.
Yeah.
And so back in the day, for those who don't know, you used to go to the rough neighborhoods and everything had shields on it. So you see it now, you kind of feel like you're in a rough neighborhood, but like, oh yeah, it's just COVID-19.
I grew up that way. Every place in Detroit is like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So I mean, around here,
still to this day, so they ain't got to worry about shit. But that's what I was like. No, I'm getting off of that. But yeah, that's true.
So anywho, we will try our second closing. So yes, Kings for Queens. I'm Comix Strategy. This is JS over here. We're going to do a better job of social distancing next time and probably get some guests sitting right here to tell us why what we just said was absolutely bananas. That being said, thank you for those who are participating in the protest. Thank you for those who have spoken out. Thank you for those who are taking a stand. Thank you for those who are stepping up behind the scenes and not taking any more of that bullshit that they've been giving us for decades, for centuries. Power to the people. Power to those who have the power to change things for the better for the people. Praying for everyone in the name of Christ. For those who believe in Christ. Some of y'all don't. I do. It is what it is. God bless y'all.
Whoever your God is. Whoever your God is. We pray for you.
So Comix Strategy, JS, we are out.